All right. Well, we are here. We are back, and of course, we're better than ever. It's the Psychic Funhouse, place for all things spiritual. We do readings. We have deep discussions about interesting spiritual topics and related miscellanea. And we enjoy having people's feedback and questions here on the show. So, welcome to the Psychic Funhouse live podcast. I'm one of two co hosts. My name's Lawrence Birch, and I'm joined by my much smarter, much lovelier co host, Miss Adrienne Stratton. So, welcome, Adrienne.
Hi, Lawrence.
Yeah.
How are you
Hey,
tonight? How are you?
glad to see you here.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Psychic Funhouse.
Yeah. So, so how are things where you are? I guess they're pretty hot here on the
Yeah,
West
well,
Coast. So yeah.
I'm here in Irvine, California, and for any of the out of state listeners, uh, that means basically I'm about 50 miles south of downtown LA and kind of wedged between Los Angeles and San Diego. So that's where I am, and it's been hot. It's been hot, hot for us anyhow. And so when it gets into the high 80s and 90s, it's hot. It's hot. So I've been
Mhm.
dealing with that and. Uh, you know, just trying to work and stay focused despite the heat and take care of the dogs. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and uh, as well as my event that I just recently had, and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, as long as we're there, why don't you share your contact information with our viewers so they can
Okay.
contact you
All
after the
right.
show if they'd like a reading or
Yeah.
more
Wonderful.
info?
So, I'm a psychic and a medium. And if you're interested in those kinds of services or would like to just know more about me and how to arrange a session, probably the easiest thing to do is take a look at my website, which is ravenmessages.com. You can also check me out on Facebook. Facebook page is the same, Raven Messages. Um, Also, I will take a phone call or you can text me at area code 714-376-7289. How about
Thanks.
you, Lawrence?
Yeah. Well, my contact info is 541 Uh, and my website is givingtreefarm.com. My Facebook page is Giving Tree Farm Herbs. And you can also email me at givingtree@earthlink.net. So, plenty of options.
Wonderful.
Plenty of options. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking, I guess because of a little conversation we were having prior to the show beginning about potential guests, and and so we certainly are gonna
Hmm.
we've done that already, and we're looking at having some additional guests come on and make presentations, but Besides that, I was thinking to myself, we, for those of you that are listening for the first time or maybe just dialing in, again, we're in the process of building our listenership, and we've been spoiled. We were quite accustomed to having a feature where people could call in and chat with us, and we could do readings and what have you. Well, we still can do readings, and we're happy to do that. And you can use our chat feature real time and communicate with us and let us know, if you've got something on your mind or you want a reading. Uh, all of that works. That that works extremely well, and we're happy to do that. So, a couple of other things, about the show. We um, we are live, and we are able to record these shows. So if you miss a portion of it, or you want to check out something, maybe in a previous show of a couple of weeks ago, you can go to the Psychic Funhouse show and look at the shows that have been saved and archived. So that's available to you as well. Um, I know we're having again a little difficulty. I see that my dear friend and colleague here is missing. So, Lawrence, where are you? I'm sure you're going to pop back up here any moment. But a few things. I certainly have no problem just talking. And like I said, in hopes that Lawrence will pop back up. But at any rate, one of the things that I was definitely going to cover was that I had been announcing, an event that I was doing in West Hollywood, up on the Sunset Strip. And so I had that opportunity to do that this past few days, and it turned out really, really well. It was at the One Hotel, like I said, on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. It was really an upscale environment, and the organizer, her name is Carrie, did an outstanding job. So there were like six of us that were providing readings, and there was an astrologer and a lovely woman that channels poetry for her clients and then writes it using a typewriter. So it's really kind of this interesting mix. But she's been doing it for quite some time and quite successfully. And the clients seem to really love her quite a good bit. Uh, like I said, there was also a wonderful woman there who was an astrologer. Her name was Kara, and she's from Oceanside. And let's see, it was another two or three psychics and a medium. And so, like I said, there was like six of us. And the way Carrie had it organized was really quite fascinating. The clients arrived in groups. And so, and they would just start, and each person took a turn, and each person had 10 minutes of a reading. And each psychic read someone. And when it was done, then we took a break, and then the next group came in, same process. So it was a wonderful time. I enjoyed myself. And there's Lawrence. I knew he'd pop back up. And
Hello again.
hey,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Hey.
just talking about the event that I did in West Hollywood, and
Oh, okay. Speed
yeah,
reading.
and it
Great.
was, it was great. Then one of the reasons that I really wanted to bring it up, is that I have been invited to participate in their next event. I'll have more information on it. Pardon me. But it's going to be in Long Beach, California, and it's, I believe she said the name of the lounge is the Wicked Wolf. So,
Ooh.
so
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. More
Yeah.
information. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, that's a memorable venue name for sure.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Well, I'm glad the debut session went well. It sounds like it was well attended, and y'all
Yeah.
had a lot of interactions with people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's productive, interesting, fascinating, even. So, yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Good enough to do it again. That's always a good sign. So,
Yeah.
did you
Absolutely.
what did you think was the most interesting about the format? Did it take a while to adjust to, or were you able to stay up to speed pretty well with people? I know that was
Well,
the feature was
I
pretty rapid
suppose.
turnover.
Yeah. I mean, it the way it was set up, the we were outside on a patio that was well covered and supported and actually private, um, and so it was quite comfortable, quite comfortable,
Hmm.
very easy, laid back kind of feeling to the hotel. um, Clients were just wonderful. Many of them had been to psychics before. A couple had not. A couple were there for the very first time. So that's always fun. The only thing that that is challenging, and I'm sure you understand this too, Lawrence, is that sometimes in situations where you're working for someone or you're at an event like this, the readings are timed. So we
Mm-hmm.
had only 10 minutes to provide a reading, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's challenging. Anyhow, I have learned how to navigate that pretty well, and so that
Mm-hmm.
works all right for me. However, when you're counting on everybody else to like pay attention to what time it is, sometimes sometimes some of the it ran late. It just ran late, so we were there for quite
Mm-hmm.
some time. But you know what,
Mm-hmm.
it all worked out. It all turned out fine, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that I did it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the next one in Long Beach, September
Mm-hmm.
23rd.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another good sign if people are willing to hang around after the show is supposed to be over to
Yeah.
keep participating. So sounds like everybody got a lot out of it. The
Yeah.
readers as well as the clients and everybody. So yeah, yeah, very cool, very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, so we look forward to the next one and getting those details up, and we'll let the listeners know about everything so they can hopefully include that in their schedule.
Yeah.
People are
Good.
watching. So yeah. I will say before we go on that we do want to let people know we're here for entertainment purposes only, and that if you're looking for legal, financial, medical, vehicular, um, or artistic advice, you should definitely talk to a professional. And then once you've got that settled, come back to the show and be entertained. So,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes, indeed.
Um, Government is happy now. Yeah. Um, well, great. Well, so tonight, as we always do, we have a topic of discussion that we like to center as our focus. Last couple shows were really productive. We talked about spirit guides, our personal relationships, how we develop them, and then also We had another show, since the topic was so juicy, it spilled over into talking about how you can deal with your spirit guides if you're somebody's just come into contact with them, found out about them, or if you have been working with spirit guides for years. There's some useful nuggets of information in both of those shows that are at our YouTube channel right here, the Psychic Funhouse. So we're getting close to about 20 archived videos now. So you're welcome to like the show, like the channel, subscribe to us. It's always good. Then you never miss a show. And you can go back and take a look at all the archived shows we have that are really interesting and fun and very informative about a variety of different psychic, spiritual, and topics in that nature. So, um, yeah. So dreams, dreams are something that have fascinated uh, humankind probably for as long as we woke up and remembered them,
Mhm.
and they've been studied as a field probably for the last 50 to 70 years or so. Um, and people first figured out that they could measure the brain waves of people's activities. People used to think that when you were not awake, when you were asleep or unconscious, that your brain just stopped working, somehow just magically shut off like a switch, and that nothing was going on there at all. But it turns out once they started being able to measure activity, that there was actually a lot going on there. And when people started observing people sleeping, they noticed that they would go into a stage where, for several times a night, it would be characterized by eye movement, as if they were actually looking at something, and their eyes would go back and forth, even though they were closed. And so they came up with a name for that, uh, which you may have heard of, called REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. And when people are exhibiting rapid eye movement, it turns out that that's when they're in a really deeper stage of sleep. Um, and so as research got more and more sophisticated, uh, they linked the eye movement to actual activities that people were experiencing while they were dreaming. And in some studies, they were able to actually get people to signal that they were awake uh, in their dream, which came to be called lucid dreaming, by using their eye signals as a way to communicate. And so, for most people, um, time happens similarly in progression in dreams uh, as it does here in waking reality. And it is possible to actually be asleep but get awake, and so maintain your dreaming consciousness and the electrical activity that can be measured as being different during that while you're sleeping. Um, and and you can actually manipulate your dreams and do different things with them. And in spiritual traditions, they talk about something called an astral body, which is also called dream body, which people that are particularly adept at um, working with can actually do things with it, travel with it, even visit other dimensions and things like that. So pretty rich area of discovery, discussion, and something I thought the viewers would appreciate uh, taking a look at through the Psychic Funhouse lens. And that's a little intro about what we're covering. So, um, are you somebody that remembers your dreams very much, Adrienne, or
Uh,
does that happen for you?
yeah, only once in a while do I remember them. But I certainly have all kinds of experiences, you know, during my dreams, as I recall. It seems like what'll happen a lot of times is that once I wake up, um, that's kind of it. But I was thinking to myself, as you were talking, I had so many wonderful experiences in that dream state, but one that was really profound, and it wasn't also wonderful. It was just uh, I don't even know a good word for it. Is surprising, I guess. And this happened quite a few years ago, and I had been sleeping soundly. Don't really recall a dream or anything like that. I just know that I slept through the night and got up quickly. I got up quickly to, I don't know if it was to tend to the dog or something, but it's almost like literally like jumped up out of bed. Yeah, jumped up out of bed and had the awareness that I was not totally in my body. And I
Hmm.
remember I walked out to the living room area, and remember saying to myself, asking myself, "Am I dead? Am I dead?" Because I was
Mhm.
not in my body. I was, but I wasn't. And I remember like looking
Mhm.
around and you know, not feeling so great. And
Mhm.
turned around, went back into my bed, went back to sleep for a little while, and then got up and
Mhm.
was fine. So, so about the astral traveling, yes, yes, indeed. I know firsthand that that's really quite real, and the ability to travel travel to many different places, see many different things, have many different experiences is really, really right on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
That's interesting. So when you decided this was going to be an extended dream session,
Yeah.
um, when you went back to your bedroom, did you see yourself sleeping, or do you remember
I
if you
yeah.
know?
I don't recall. I don't recall. Uh, I
Uh-huh.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, but um
Mhm.
I don't really recall that on
Mhm.
that particular episode. But I have had that happen before, where it's like, oh, there
Uh-huh.
I am. I guess I better
Yeah.
jump back in.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Some traditions talk about a connection to the dream body that emanates from your physical body, and they speak of it as a core, sometimes a
Yeah.
silver tether, and that it actually has a finite length that you can go to the end of it,
Yeah.
and it'll bring you back. So um, it's also interesting to me that you thought about death. This was
Yeah.
something that made you question whether or not you were alive.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common
Yeah.
too, especially in the beginning when people are having lucid dreaming
Mm-hmm.
experiences for the first time, because it's
Mm-hmm.
such a disorienting, can be,
Mm-hmm.
state of awareness. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
really a remarkable experience, and I was also thinking how yes, I mean when we sleep, when I sleep, oftentimes I am trying in my sleep. I'm trying to resolve work issues. I'll kind of like wake up just a little bit, and I'm, having a full conversation about, oh well, I could do this, and I should have gone over here, and this and that, and I'm talking to people, and and brain is still extremely active. So it's that doesn't happen all the time, fortunately, but every once in a
Mm-hmm.
while it most certainly does. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty common for people to have dreams that can at least symbolically, if not in more concrete ways, get traced back to some waking event that happened. Oftentimes, there's a lag time of a few days before the uh, counterpart, the dream part of the issue shows up um, from the actual event. But yeah, that's pretty common.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
it's interesting, what your mind takes hold of and what it decides it wants to, um, review while you're in the dream state. Um,
Oh, indeed.
the lucid dreaming is pretty common to a lot of traditions I was mentioning, and there's actually some ways you can facilitate it if you've ever done any kind of meditation work at all, where you still your mind and you try to release your thoughts and just center yourself and ground yourself. It's actually pretty similar to creating a lucid dreaming state. One of the things that people have done for probably hundreds, if not thousands of years, is to focus on something in your waking life that can help you realize you're uh, actually dreaming. And one of the easiest things to do is just to look at your hands during the day and take note of them, and just pay attention and observe what they look like. And if your intention is to do that as a device to aid you in realizing when you're in a dream, um, you'll actually start to look at your hands while you're dreaming. And then that can be a way to jar you out of just being in the flow and to take a step back and think, oh, okay, I'm looking at my hands. Am I awake? Am I asleep? My hands look really different. There's something else happening. This must be a dream. Uh, and some cultures even talk about the dream actually being right now, that we're dreaming right now and that we're awake when we're asleep. So they flip the script in a sense, which is really pretty interesting concept. And if you look at it through a spiritual point of view, it makes a lot of sense because if you subscribe to the notion, on any level at all, that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, that are, you know, more natural, more understood way of being to our consciousness is to be disembodied, uh, and that we're here for a period of time only experiencing this reality. Then dreams seem a lot more um, substantive and more like what it's like to be in just a spiritual state of be disembodied, because you can do anything in a dream, pretty much. You can create all sorts of different realities. You can fly, you can inhabit different
Yep.
experiences, visit anywhere you want, see people from your past or even
Hmm.
people from the future.
It's very true.
A lot harder to
That's.
do that while you're here. So, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
I think that's
Yeah.
part of the attraction for, uh,
I think it's
invest in your dreams with the more meaning. Hmm.
yeah. I was just gonna say it's also a wonderful experience when you are able to engage in lucid dreaming with someone and
Hmm.
share that experience and then talk about it, in your waking hours. And that's very powerful and fun as well. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
there's
true.
a in
Mhm.
hmm go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that it is very true. You can have conversations with a wide variety of different people and travel, as we were saying, to a wide variety of different places. And of course, as a medium, what frequently, most, I would say probably most nights when I'm in that like in between time, um I get all kinds of people, visitors, wanting to talk and chat, and some that are needing help, and uh so it's always interesting. I never know what what dream time is going to be like. But I will share something that was hilarious in really in many ways. um, given that idea that as a medium, I've certainly come across so many different spirits and entities, and they want to talk and chat, and my mom sometimes will come through, and we'll talk. But nevertheless, so a couple of nights ago, I had fallen asleep. This was when I was it the- no, it was just a couple nights ago, and um, I remember a lot of activity earlier in the night in my dream time, but but I fell asleep sound, and then when I woke up next to my little dog, right, my young dog, Frida, and I
Hmm.
opened my eyes and I looked at her, and instead of saying hi, Frida, I said hi, Moon Pie, and it was like moon pie? Who? What? 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 I know what a moon pie
Okay.
is, and in
Okay.
case different people that may be listening don't know, it's a kind of
Hmm.
like a large marshmallow chocolate graham cracker kind of cookie that's very popular, like in the South. Anyhow, I don't know about
Hmm.
any place else.
Back
I've
east.
I've
Yeah.
yeah, I've
Hmm.
had them, but it was like high moon pie, and it was like I could it's like and it just boom, just popped out of my mouth. So
Uh-huh.
I'm rather certain that that was somebody that was visiting, or somebody I was chatting with. But so anyhow, it's
Yeah.
always fun, always fun.
Maybe that's Frida's spirit or dream name for herself.
That could be.
You picked up on it. Yeah. Yeah. So an exercise I like to do with my students often is something called lightning dream work, which is a technique for decoding the meaning of dreams that was developed by a person who actually has a Center for the Study of Dreams. Their name is Robert Moss. But if you do an internet search for Robert Moss and lightning dream work, you'll come up with their worksheet basically that has a short list of questions that if you can use on your own if you'd like, but it's really
Mhm.
fun to pair with another person, kind of like you were saying. If you have a dream that seems to persist in terms of your waking consciousness as something that you want to try to understand more deeply. And then the nice thing about it is, there's a lot of literature out there about the symbolism of dreams and what this means and what that means.
Mhm.
This helps you understand your own blueprint for your dreams and the scaffolding that they're built on, uh, and also invites the person who's working on understanding the dream with you to take it on as their dream for a little bit, and the results from that can be really illuminating and helpful in understanding what the dream is about. So
Yeah,
pretty
sounds
interesting
like a
that
good
one.
resource.
Hmm. Yeah, the other thing that I've mentioned before when we've talked about this subject is uh, lucid dreaming with another person, which is really interesting. You can actually connect with other people's consciousness, and if you're good at it, you can actually bring them out of their uh, dream state and into your lucid dream, and
Mm-hmm.
you can confirm this when you wake up with the other
Mm-hmm.
person. But one of those dreams I had was with a girlfriend of mine who was living out on a couple hundred acres south of where I live now. Um, and it happened to be a full moon, which I think is also something that sometimes encourages people's lucid dreaming. But in the dream, my partner and I just went for a walk on the property, and we walked up this hill, and there was the full moon. And I remember saying to her, "Hey, I'm going to go and take a look at the moon." And so I just let go of her hand, and in an instant, I was shooting up into space, and it started to feel really real. Uh, the atmosphere started thinning. Felt like I was going to leave, the Earth, and I thought, I don't know if I'm ready to do this or not. This feels like something I bit off that's a little bit bigger than I can chew on. So I got pretty high up, and I looked back and I went, yeah, maybe I'll shorten my journey a little bit. And I went back down into my consciousness. And when I woke up later that morning, um, we both looked at each other and realized that we had shared this dream. We started talking about it and had the exact
Mm-hmm.
same perspective and experiences that we
Mm-hmm.
had in the dream, which was really really interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes when you're connected to people, you'll have those shared experiences, which the way I look at it is that uh, we're actually more connected than we even realized, and that our consciousness on all sorts of levels is communicating uh, with each other about a variety of different things that sometimes we're only barely aware of, or not even aware of at all, unless it's brought to our attention. So, um, but
Yeah.
yeah, that can happen as well.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's
Hmm.
almost along those lines, or that idea of being able to finish like another person's sentence. And
Hmm.
it has a similar kind of feeling to it, but it's remarkable, when you first time you
Hmm.
experience that, and you're sharing with someone, and it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, they saw the same thing, they felt the same way, they remembered, the conversation, and yeah, powerful.
Yeah. Do you we're talking about dreams and kind of with the assumption that they're at least productive or constructive, or not problematic. What about the subject of nightmares? Did you have nightmares when you were growing up? A lot of kids have nightmares, and sometimes they even persist into adulthood. Have you
No,
had nightmares before? Bad
I
dreams?
don't.
Oh.
I don't. I probably did, but not
Hmm.
not anything on a regular basis. Fortunately,
Hmm.
um, I mean, and certainly every once in a while, now, I may may find that I'm experiencing something, in the dream state that you know um, is not pleasant, and I usually will,
Mhm.
just wake up right away from it, come away from it, um, and then go back to sleep. I go back to sleep,
Mhm.
and most of the time, that dream sequence is gone. And so, which is just fine. But every once in a while, I go back to sleep, and it's like, oh, that dream is continuing, and then
Mhm.
I will change the outcome, of it, and it's no big deal. But
Mhm.
yeah, how about you?
What comes to mind is I tended to get uh, into a fair number of accidents when I was growing up, injuries and different things. Uh, I guess I was maybe more adventurous than my body knew how to handle. And I also had a tendency to have a variety of different illnesses, some of them fairly serious. But I can remember being at my grandparents and being really feverish and having, being in kind of an altered state, which is, I guess, kind of an umbrella term for what we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
when we're talking about dreams, because you're really in an altered state of consciousness while you're dreaming. And so this was kind of a, what I would say, kind of a waking dream,
Mm-hmm.
where I was in sort of a twilight sleep situation,
Mm-hmm.
and the fever was affecting my perception. And so I was hallucinating a little bit, but I remember having this really odd conjunction of my different senses, and that seems to also be a hallmark of dreaming for some people. The term for that is when your senses combine, is synesthesia. Some people have that more than others, where you can smell colors,
Mm-hmm.
you can taste them, so your visual, your auditory combine, or your uh, different perceptions blend in with each other, so you get sort of a crossover effect. And there's different understandings and explanations of why that is. What was happening to me while I was in this fever state as a young child was that I could feel my what felt like, I later kind of interpret as my bones were dissolving. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had this sense on a molecular level of calcium waking up in my body, and all the minerals associated with your bones, the other minerals there, and just kind of like water being added to salt. And I could also taste this in my
Mm-hmm.
mouth, like a metallic saltiness. Um, and what I understood uh, later on, after thinking about this and doing some research and trying to recreate just what that was like, was that, maybe, I don't really know, but maybe what I was experiencing was, when your body is in a feverish state, when it's got an elevated temperature, um, what can happen as part of the immune process and just being in a fever is your body actually runs through its store of calcium fairly quickly. And calcium's a mineral that's definitely, a major part of your bone structure, but it also is important for muscular activity. And so when you use up all the available calcium that your body can get a hold of, it starts to actually pull out the calcium from your bones as a reserve. It'll even pull it out
Oh,
from your teeth, if you're developing your teeth, if you're younger, and which can actually affect them physically or in appearance. And so I think what was going on when I was in this kind of half dream, half awake state was that I was somehow linking my, basic understanding of what, um, was going on mineralogically with my fever, with the actual process that my body was doing, biomechanically, I guess, if you will, and that it was, system wide enough. It was having an impact on me, and I was just tuning into my body, really undergoing this physical chemical change in order to perpetuate the fever state. Um,
Hmm.
so
Wow.
just an odd thing, you know, a little hard to explain, I guess,
Hmm.
but nonetheless pretty fascinating.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah,
Wow. Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've never had anything quite like that. Um, but I certainly do enjoy sleep time. That's lovely.
Yeah,
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 absolutely. One of the
yeah.
other things that was thinking about, and maybe we can explore this a little bit further at some point, and that's shape shifting. And
Hmm.
I ex- I experience it at will, in dream time,
Hmm.
and certainly if I'm doing working with a client, uh, when that's appropriate, as well as doing it doing it just with in my regular daily meditation practice, and escalating to that different level of consciousness and ultimately being as well. But uh, I have that's something that I also enjoy quite a good bit. And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was sleeping. This was years ago, and I was sleeping next to someone and woke up. Both of us woke up the next morning, and I was told, I was told, I rolled over to look at you to see you, and what I saw was this big gray wolf. It was like, well,
Oh, really?
yeah, what can I say? But it
Mm.
was so it's certainly not unusual for me because wolf is wolf has been a primary animal spirit, but it also said to me,
Hmm.
spoke great volumes about my friend as well, and to be able to acknowledge that and see that in that probably very short window of time.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I was, that's really interesting. I was, blessed growing up to have, grandparents in my life, and both my grandmothers on my mom's and my dad's side, were really, uh, different, but versed in their own way, with, kind of, the grandmother way of understanding the world. And one of my grandmothers would talk about having, your sleep stolen.
Ah, hmm.
And this could occur. You're right. This could occur, if you're sleeping in a bed with somebody, or even if there's an animal that
Hmm.
curls up next to you. Somehow it's gonna suck the sleep away from you.
Hmm.
And you know, uh, I think it's pretty interesting. You know, uh, we didn't really touch on this with our discussion the last couple of shows about spirit guides, but you can definitely work with your spirit guides in the dream state. That's a really great way, actually, to connect with
Yeah.
them. Is to, you know, before you actually retire and go to sleep, is to, you know, invite them to come into the dream state with you and you know, interact. Maybe it's a specific goal you have to take care of. There's a lot of ways to really work with your dream state in order to
Mhm.
benefit your waking state.
So
Because
true.
dreams are so plastic and they're so open to suggestion, you may not
Mhm.
even realize the healing that can take place, during the dream time for you. But
Mhm.
that's another thing. As a young person, I can remember, no matter what my state of mind was or what I experienced during the day that may have been traumatic or disturbing or just problematic. As long as I got a good night's sleep, I would wake up the next day and feel like
Yeah.
I'd worked through everything and that,
Yeah. So true.
everything had
So
started over
true.
again. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the gift of being young, for a lot of people.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I also know that, had a really efficient healing process when I was younger, and probably aided by, who knows what other beings or entities while I was asleep. But it just, allowed me to reset, clear things up, and then just be ready to take on the next day, which is a good thing because I had a lot of stuff to work on.
Mhm. Mhm.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
The mill, so to speak. Yeah. Mhm.
I find that strategy, if you will, to still be, uh, a really good one, whenever possible. And it's very, very true. You try to get a
Mhm.
good night's sleep, and
Mhm.
my mom used to talk about, resting your mind, and
Mhm.
uh, and there's just a lot of truth to that. And so sometimes,
Mhm.
even if you're not able, and this is what I have found to be helpful for me, is that even like at times when I have an awareness that, my stress level for whatever reason seems to be high, or I feel depressed or sad, whatever the situation may be, and I go to bed, and
Mhm.
maybe I can't sleep, maybe I don't fall asleep, but that idea of resting your mind, it's like, just try to get into a calmer, more restful state. And it doesn't, I mean,
Mhm.
for me, it's very helpful. It may not be quite as powerful, as strong as being able to get a full night's sleep with, to resolve things, but resting the mind is important also, and learning how to turn it off, or
Mhm.
at least turn it down. you know so yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm. Mhm.
very healing.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a great point. Um, we don't really just have one consciousness that,
Hmm.
you know, uh, permeates our waking state, just like we don't have just one kind of consciousness that tells a story during our dream state. I think we have different levels available to us. And just like you're talking about, you can shift those states pretty much at will, particularly when you work on uh, developing the skills to do that. And it can be really, really helpful and beneficial, to be able to just check out of the busy mind,
Hmm.
as some uh, teachers are want to say, the mouse mind. We're all just deep into the screens, or doing
Right.
something that's really busy, and it's got our mind. It's like hyper focused. We've had 15 cups of coffee and things are just buzzing.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
that can be a really enthralling, exciting state to be in, but it can be difficult sometimes to shift away from that or shut it off or just slow it down and wait and make it transition to a different state. And I think it, like you were saying, it can be useful to develop a practice where you can just kind of let things drop away, let your focus shift to something more inner,
Yeah.
finding a sense of calm within yourself, a groundedness, where you're not wrapped up in, the drama of the day, and you just
Hmm.
give yourself a little bit of a rest. It doesn't even have
Hmm.
to transition into
Yeah.
something like a nap, which I've grown fond of as I get older, which now I
Oh,
understand
yes.
why my elders said
Yes.
too. And it's like, oh, a nap,
Oh, oh,
foist it on you when you're when you're when you're a little kid. It's nap time. You're like, no, I don't want to go. And then the reverse happens. Like, wait a minute, I didn't get my
yeah.
nap in.
Oh,
So
gosh.
you know,
Nap time here is wonderful. I grab a couple of dogs and go jump on the
right?
bed and oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
right. Sleep, sleep time. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And people experiment with different kinds of nap times too. But I think it's a really wonderful subject to really explore that you don't have to be 100% on all the time, that there
Yeah.
are times when your mind will tell you, hey, I'm reaching overload state and I need to experience something else. And it can be
Hmm.
something as simple as just taking a look at a book that
Hmm.
has some really wonderful pictures, or your own photographs, or looking outside, sitting next to a plant. I mean, there's an innumerable number of ways to shift your consciousness and allow a different state of being to come into your mind
Yeah.
that can be restorative and relaxing it. And it can be difficult, I think, for people that are really type A to unplug and feel like they're doing something worthwhile, the self-care or practice when they have a deadline to meet or something like that. But
Hmm.
you'd be surprised, even just 5, 10, 15 minutes out of your day of putting yourself into that state can revitalize the rest of your working
Hmm.
process for the rest of the day or even into the week. So um,
Hmm.
just listening to your body and giving it what it needs. And sleep is one of the things. There's a few people who can do without much sleep, or they've trained themselves to sleep less. But for most of us, there's a definite need for a lot of sleep when you're in a growth period, in your teens especially. They've finally figured out that not
Yeah.
disturbing sleep of teenagers really helps them cope with their lives a lot better, and they have better outcomes in
Hmm.
pretty much every parameter. Uh,
Hmm.
and the same is true, in maybe a less critical way for adults. So, whether you end up remembering your dreams or not, you're going to have them. And it's a good idea to cultivate, good sleep hygiene um,
Yeah.
as well. So,
Yeah. Good topic.
mhm.
Good topic.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
was fun. Fun, fun, fun.
Hmm.
Fun, fun, fun in the sun. Well, we've reached that time again where we're going to have to let everybody go for the week, but we will be here next week as
Yes, indeed.
usual. Psychic Funhouse reconvenes every Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. right
Yep.
here on the Psychic Funhouse on YouTube. So we look forward to that happening again. And we're so grateful to have our audience check out the show and participate as well.
Hmm.
So send us any questions or comments you have even after the show. We're happy to take a look at them.
Yeah. Tell a friend
Adrienne,
or two.
um, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Um, how about sharing your contact info with people?
Okay.
Let's
I'll
do
do
that.
that. My
Okay.
website, which is full of information regarding my services and fees, um, is ravenmessages.com. I have a Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
same by the same name, and a jewelry page, Raven Messages Jewelry. You might want to check that out as
Nice.
well. There's a lot of unique
Nice.
pieces with high quality gemstones. I also take phone calls and text messages at 714-376-7289. And I want to give a quick announcement for tomorrow. If you happen to be in the Orange County or Southern California, San Diego area, and you don't mind driving, yeah, please come on and see me, and as well as a lot of other psychics and healers at the OC Heart Space psychic holistic fair. I'll get it out in a minute, from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Most of it's free, but the people providing readings charge a variety of different prices, and I'd love to see you there. It's usually the last Saturday of the month, but we're doing it early this month. So anyhow, that's it for me. How about for you, Lawrence? How do people find you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it's worth mentioning too that if you can't be physically present at the psychic fair, they have remote options as well. You can
Yeah,
connect, right? So, yeah,
thank you.
which is always good. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah. 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 Mhm. All
So
right.
yeah,
So, yeah, so my contact information, my website's givingtreefarm.com. My phone number is 541-344-7534. And my email is givingtree at earthlink.net. And my Facebook page is Giving Tree Farm Herbs. So I'm happy to hear from people. I'm a shamanic practitioner as well as a psychic. I work with tarot, and I'm a clinical herbalist. So different
yeah,
facets of healing for you to connect with. Happy to take on clients. So, all right. Well, we've
very
gone
cool.
over a little bit. So, yeah, but
All right.
another good show.
Yes,
Interesting
indeed.
discussion. I always learn so much, of course, from my colleague here
I feel the
because she
same
is
way. I'm always
amazing.
learning
So,
something from you, Lawrence. And I thank you for
yeah.
bringing great information all the time.
Hmm. Well, good. Yeah. Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe we'll both educate each other about this psychic business farther
Yeah,
than we ever thought possible. So, well,
sounds
on
good.
behalf of the Psychic Funhouse, our legal team, the producers of the show, all the people that make this happen, um, we want to thank you for coming out and being with us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you again. Please have a lovely rest of your evening and an even better weekend. And stay cool, stay hydrated, and we'll
Stay
catch you here
safe.
next week. Yes, absolutely.
See you
Thanks,
next
Adrian.
week. Bye.
All right, sounds good. Good. Have a good
Bye, Lawrence. Thank
psychic fair
you.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Tell
Thank
Michael I
you.
said hi.
All right. Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
do. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.